Okay, is it anybody out there? I don't know why, but I am just very nervous for this whole coding live thing. But I'm doing it because I should not be doing it because I'm scared. I should not be doing it because I don't like it, or you guys don't like it, or any other reason. But being scared is not a good reason. So I'm pushing myself to do this. And we'll see if there's two people, you know. Good morning to, I think I can, yes, Snooty, hello, and good morning. And thank you for encouraging me to do this. They have helped me out and given me a lot of encouragement to do this. So anybody else on the stream who want to say where they're from or just hello and that you're hearing me and seeing everything. And then we'll get started and I'll introduce what we're supposed to do today. So are you guys hearing me okay? I have a new camera with a new microphone and I'm hoping that's okay because you see this picture behind me here got my daughter tried to find something behind it and then it toppled down and then my microphone fell on the floor and I can't seem to be able to put it back together. So we're making do with my new Logitech streaming camera microphones. So, more people. Yes, everything is working fine. Should we start coding? I don't know why I'm so nervous for this. So let's get started on what we're going to make. I have a little banner thing that I think I should be able to add onto here. There. So today we're adding a factory reset or restore to POW. Last Friday we did user testing. We had 4 people user test, existing customers, users, and there was a varied feedback, a lot of fun. I don't know why, like with the stream, I have made this thing where I was scared to start user testing because I was scared they would all say, it's shit, I don't want to use it anymore. And why did you make it? That kind of thing. But they were super nice. People really want the product. They really were encouraging in their comments. And some people have been using it actively since March and it's working for them. So that was cool. But from the people who were not testing, but in emails, people have, or a few users have said they would like to delete everything and then start over because we don't really have any good notification system for POW yet. We people do forget to use POW. This is something we're going to work on this fall. And you might be, you might join me in doing that. We're going to work on the notification system, but at the moment, if you start forgetting to log, then maybe it's been a month or two, and you want to get back into logging, and you kind of want to start from scratch. Or what I think they might want to do is say that they've been on a break and then start over so they don't lose existing data. But I'm thinking that will be a lot harder to make. So today we're just going to try to make something where they can just restart and delete everything and then start over again. So let's see if I can get the screen up here. And yes, Snooty, user testing can be super scary, but it's very useful. And I know you've been doing that a lot for your game with your beta crew. So that's cool. Let's see if I can get my screen up here. I borrowed my mom, who lives next door's iPad because I only code on a laptop. I have no fancy setups here. So I borrowed her iPad so I can, control this stream. And we'll see. And hello, Monica. What's up? I hope you'll enjoy the stream. Let's see. No, this is me. Then I'm going to try and add to, let's see. I think we have the screen on there. Is it big enough? Try to zoom in a little bit. So I started this morning by making a task. So this is the one I was saying I kind of should be making, that it's possible to keep going with POW after a break. But what we are doing today is this one where we're trying to make the factory restore. So what I usually start with is that I check the issue number on my issue, and then I use that as my branch name. So do people see this code? Is it big enough? If not, let me know, and I'll try to do something with that. So, and I start by spelling mistakes. Get check out branch, and then I do factory restore, and then I try to use the number 195 to kind of remind me what I'm doing. So anybody tell me if this if you can see the code, if I should do better contrast maybe for the code. I can see because I'm using this candy theme, which is very cute, but maybe not good enough contrast. So we'll see if we can use one of those better ones, color theme. This might be better. The terminal is a little small. I don't know how to zoom in on that. Let's see if a little. Ooh. Ooh. Everything got bigger now. Okay, we'll see if I can code in this big. But I don't think the terminal will be that interesting. So I'm going to take it down a little bit again, and then we'll see. There's the view. And then we'll zoom out a little bit. Oh, it's minus. Yeah. Okay. Contrast is good. Great. And as you'll see, I am not one of those 10x coders who know all the shortcuts and stuff like that. I would say lately I'm more, as somebody called it, like a duct tape coder or a glue coder, where I take different services and frameworks and then I glue them together to make something different or new. So I'm usually more focused on what I'm making, that being the best at all these shortcuts and stuff. And that's still why I'm only working on my laptop, because then I can work wherever, which I like. I usually sit in cafes and stuff, a little bit less now though, because of, you know, the pandemic. So let's start coding, or let's look at POW, because I am thinking a lot of people who are watching have not been inside POW, because some of you are not the target market. We will be making sharing with your partner at some point in 2021. So then maybe more of you are in the target market. But anyways, so this is looks kind of boring. This is POW, and this is a person who hasn't logged in for a while and hasn't really logged much anyway. It's one of my test users. So this is, you know, she might want to delete everything, which we are making today. But to show you around a little bit, this is how POW looks when you've logged in and you maybe and you've only logged a little bit. And see, this is kind of where the main info is. So we're saying we're on day 17 of a default 28-day cycle. This means that the person hasn't logged enough for there to become an average that I calculate for them. And the way you log is that you open up this and you say, I am feeling super happy today, and the things that you hashtag are the things that you want to keep an extra eye on, and it should come somewhere. And there's so much I want to do, so we're not going to go into everything, but if we skip a little bit further, well, it should be coming on day 17, but I think everything is whacked with this one, so we want to just restore. So you see here before, some on day 1, testing has been logged. So this is kind of how POW works. I have a big refactor where it's going to look a little bit nicer that I might show you later in the stream, but it's been taking a lot longer than I'd like, and yeah. So, and I shouldn't talk down my own product, you know. I don't know, if you're developers, you always know this. It could always be better. So you want to always improve, and it's hard to look at your own stuff from way back when. anyways, let's do a factory restore. So I'm thinking I want to have it somewhere here. We'll have a little danger zone, kind of like GitHub. Because if you go to GitHub and you do settings and you scroll down, you have a danger zone. So I want to make like a danger zone where you can then delete everything. And when you delete, I want people to, you know, type in, delete everything or something like that, so they don't do it without totally meaning it. I've seen that a lot in other projects now, where you have to like actually type in delete, or I guess with GitHub, you have to type in the name of the repository. So I want to make something like that for POW as well. But I usually start pretty simple, so let's just get the button going and then hook it up to my backend user base and delete everything, and then we'll add niceties such as the confirm. Bye-bye, you know, go back to work. Thank you for joining, though. Let's see here. He said, gotta go. Thank you for the encouraging words. And we have a good question from Snooty. So at the moment, we don't have any export feature, but that's something I want, because I want to be able to say on my marketing pages that, you know, you're allowed to quit at any point and you can export your data and then leave. So why don't I go ahead and just make that an issue, because I think I've forgotten to make an issue on that. So even if I work on projects alone, well, for POW, I also have my partner, Ula, who's a junior developer with me. But usually I work alone. I still kind of try and add things to GitHub as I get to issues, as I remember them or they come up, so that I remember to actually, you know, do things. Because another thing I've been thinking about with export is that maybe some users want to export and then do some analytics themselves. If they are kind of scientist people or developers, we often want to, you know, do our own analysis. So that's also a good reason to have export. So added that. Good. And then I'm going to do my banner again. So if anybody new comes in, they can see what we are making today. Oh, another good question. Oh, I'm so happy you're asking questions, Snooty. It makes everything easier. And I guess you know that because you've been streaming for a long time. I use GitHub for most of my projects, just because I've tried them all and I don't particularly like any of them. And I realized, I read this article or essay one time, that you will always start hating your project management systems because they are reminding you to do things you don't want to do. So for coding, I've just decided to use GitHub issues. And I used a great software called Hubboard that made them into Kanban boards really easily. But I think that that project is just abandoned, unfortunately. And I haven't gotten into the GitHub projects. It just feels a little bloated. But we'll see. If more people come on board, we'll probably need to find something better. So if you people in the stream have any suggestions for good issue tracking and project management, you know, you can add that in the comments for everyone to see. Okay, so let's code. Because I can talk and talk and talk, so I don't have to code in front of you guys. And I'm sorry if the microphone picks up my laughter a little. I do laugh very loud. So let's go back to our coding. So I was saying I wanted a box somewhere around here. And in my code, that would be here. So I have a profile card component, and then I had the component I didn't make its own component, but I think we'll make this one its own component. And let's just call it maintenance card or something like that. Or let's just call it danger card. And I downloaded these snippets that I found pretty nifty, because I can then just make a functional component without having to type it all out. And And let's drink some water before we do this coding. And also, if you have any fun project that you're working on, you could drop that in the comments as well to, to get to know each other in the comments while I think and not talk so much. So I want a profile card, I guess. Let's not look at that. What I will do is that I'll just go to Material UI, which is the system that I use, and we'll hopefully have this done by 12:30. We'll see. And I check up the card. I don't know if I used card on the other one, because often I start with the card thing and then I don't like it anyway, and then I use, no, I have used it. And I usually just copy something. It's me, copy paste coder. Do we need card actions? No, I think I'm just going to put a button in there. I think a lot of the reason that I copy paste so much is because I am also fairly dyslexic, and one of my biggest, when I was starting to learning to code, I think I spent 3 days debugging why my image carousel wasn't working for a school project, and it was because I've written height wrong. And I did the same thing yesterday at the client. I think I spent an hour, no, not an hour, maybe just 10 minutes this time trying to figure out why it wasn't working, and I've written height wrong again. So I like to just copy paste where I can. I don't think we want the outlined version. And I'll leave that in there and leave the prop types in there. I usually add them at the end. And let's see if we get that danger card up there. Of course we don't, because maybe somebody can answer that, but sometimes it actually imports these things and sometimes it doesn't for me. So I don't know why. And I haven't spent the time looking into that. Let's clean this up a little. Danger zone, yay! And I've been lazy and just added the box layout in here because I think it will just spread out automatically if I use that. And let's not do it to the top one. Okay, so we have something in there. I would like header that says danger zone, and then a button, and then we'll hook up the button to deletion in Userbase. So let's make a little card. Let's make the header. If I remember correctly, it's just title. So So now we have the danger zone. Header, we'll just go with the default look in this stream. Yeah, and people are saying that this happens to all of us, hours debugging a spelling error. Isn't that, it's just ridiculous. I did test TypeScript out for another project, and I really liked it, but it's such a high curve. And since Ola is still a junior, I don't want to add that into POW at the moment, but hopefully in the future we'll do that, and that solves a lot of these issues for us, doesn't it? So let's just add a button in here. And please just auto import, not from React Scroll. Yep. So to the people in watching, what should I call it? Should it be called factory restore, delete everything and start over? What would be a good good button action name for this? I would be interested to see if somebody has input on that. And now it's a button. We might want to make it outlined. And I think, can I do button error? No, but I could just do primary because my primary color is red. Yes. Okay. And then just so I remember, up here we should just add some text at one. Explanatory text. It's good. And I forget, I should use typography when I'm using Material UI. Okay. I'll fix a little bit on the styling. Delete data. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I think I need to put some delete in there. That's true. So they really, really, really understand. Let's go with delete data. Thank you, Snitty. And then let's do a commit. Skeleton in place. You want to commit often, don't you? Okay, let's hook it up now to Userbase. So unclick. Still working. And this is where the fun begins. So I am using for POW. So POW, I haven't said, so if there's anybody I don't know on the stream, POW is a privacy-first menstrual cycle journal. So it's very important that everything is, all data is encrypted. And to do that, I've been using Userbase that you can see on the screen now, which is, well, they say it themselves, creates secure and private web apps using only static JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So it's a very good combo with the Jamstack, if you're familiar with that term. So I use Gatsby, which is a React framework, and then I use Userbase for the backend, and then Material UI for the interface components. And I've been really happy with Userbase so far. I stumbled upon them like 2 weeks before going live, and it was just such a better fit for POW. I ended up changing everything those last 2 weeks before going live, and I'm really happy with that. And their company, I think, started around the same time as POW, so they're adding features. So while POW is growing, Userbase is always growing, so it's a really good fit for us. So if you want to make something encrypted, I would really, check out Userbase. I pay for this. I'm not sponsored, but I want them to succeed, because if they go bankrupt, I have a problem with POW, don't I? So everybody use Userbase. No, but it's I really like them, and their docs are pretty good. And it's the feature set is not bloated, so it's pretty easy to get around it. So let's look at the docs and see if we can figure out how to delete everything. So with Userbase, there's a concept of databases, and I'm looking for something where I can just like delete everything in the database, or I will have to, loop through all the entries and then delete them myself. So we'll see. So here is our data: open database, get database, insert item, update item, delete item, and put transaction. So you could probably do something with the transaction, but it looks like we at least need to delete items one by one. And a very interesting thing is that they just added data sharing. So for POW, we're looking into this, I guess it will be springtime 2021 or summer 2021. We're hoping to implement sharing between users, so that I can share my data with my partner and decide what parts of the data I want to share. And I've also heard from a mom who lives in a household with a teenage daughter, and they would really want to share their data so they can have a sneak peek at each other's cycles to know what's up. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm very excited that Userbase added this, because making encryption work really well with encryption isn't hard, but making store the keys and key handling and who is having access, all that kind of stuff is really time consuming. So Userbase was a good find. Let's have a look at the docs then. Just mean multiple database operation as a single atomic batch. Either all operations succeed or the entire batch fails. You will never see partial updates. Okay, so it looks like we want to do this, and we'll want to loop through our entries, and then do delete command or command delete, and then our item ID, our database name, and then we'll do a put transaction. So that's pretty interesting. I'll just copy this. So let's import Userbase. So I have, of course, because I do like to over-engineer things, made a whole React toolkit kind of wrapper around a lot of the adding and updating entries, because I want to have like an optimistic UI where things change, but then if they fail, I change them back and that sort of things. But I'm thinking for this danger card, we're just going to use Userbase directly and not go through the whole Redux loop, because I don't need it to be an optimistic UI update. I want the user to sit there and wait until this has actually happened or not happened. So we're just going to do it sneakily like that. But I think my database is called entries. And there's also a settings database that we will need to go through. But let's import entries. Or select entries, I guess. Or should we just, well, let's do it all Userbase like. So Userbase has this change handler system where you get your items. Oh, it's been a long time since I've actually coded this from scratch. So we'll see how. Entries. And then I guess we need to do this and use effect because we need to do it. We need to fetch all the entries when the component renders. Or no, we just want to do it when it happens. Okay, I'm just going to start over. Hard thing, coding and talking. Okay, delete data. So first fetch all entries, then delete all entries. I think maybe do we get them in the result as well? That would be interesting because then I could just wait for them. No. You know what? I'm just going to use the one that I have. I'm losing people now because I'm meddling about. So Userbase with the open database and change handler, you can only have one per page because as soon as you add another change handler, the change handler you had gets overwritten and you won't get the changes anymore. So since I am doing this, I think at the root level, I'm going to use the entries that are already set at the root level. So I have a feature here that I call entries. And then if I look at my slice, I think I have select entries. So let's get that, and then we can get our entries without doing all of this other stuff. So we don't need to fetch all our entries because we already have them. Something is up with my, is it still working? Shouldn't this format better? Well, anyway. Import select and entries from and I always forget I have these snippets in there and I write it myself. Select entries. Why is this not formatting? Does anybody see why this is not formatting? Then let me know in the comments. I'm going to delete this and delete this, and then let's see. Is everything still working? No. Still not formatting. Use selector. Redux. So it's showing up, but it's not formatting, which I find very strange. Let's see if we, I have Prettier installed, so I just usually copy paste stuff in and then I, do a save and everything formats. So we have our entries, and then if we do unclick delete data, Let's see. What's after? Ah, there's a button there. Could also just be that my computer is a little stale because of streaming. So let's do the, delete data and then entries, and let's see what we get. Yeah, we have get delete data. Everything is working. We have our entry IDs. So then we need to do the whole put transaction. So let's do transactions equals entries, and then let's map them into, and if I remember correctly, entry ID. And we want them to look like this. Command delete item ID equals entry ID. And then we'll await. We'll try, catch, and then we'll put the transaction. Let's call it commands. And oh my God, I am messing up. It's still not format. I can't code when things aren't formatting. Anybody else have those issues? I'm so used to it formatting for me that I just can't code anymore if it's not formatting. Let's console log these commands just to know that we're on the right path. Yeah, we get our correct commands. Great. So Monica says, restart the editor. I'm going to do that, but only if your desktop is tidy. I think it's tidy enough. And also I have Chrome up here in the background. So I'm going to quit code, and then we're going to do code again, and we'll see if it starts formatting. And we just hope that the guys at the client office are not watching, as they said they might do, because otherwise I'm not going to get paid anymore, am I? Oh, well, if you are watching, then you know, you can say hi. Okay, it looks like things are starting. Let's see. Still not formatting, but we'll manage. So we managed to we get our entries, we managed to map them into commands, and now we want to put we want to get Userbase to do that. Do I have to restart my whole computer for anything to work now? There. And then error. And then we'll try to await Userbase put transaction. So let's not copy too much now. We need an object with our params, and then we need database name. And let's keep that as the wrong database name just to get an error. And then we won't need our operations and commands. I cannot believe this is happening. It's been years since I've tried any manual formatting. I don't know if you about and Snooty does not miss JavaScript. I love JavaScript, but not when it doesn't want to format. I remember when we were in university, I was very obsessed with indenting my code and having it super clean. And back then we had to do it manually, at least when it was JavaScript, or a little bit manually. And I remember it being called kind of derogatory. They called it girl code when it was very nicely formatted. And I just decided to take that as a compliment. Even though it was meant as a compliment, I just decided to take it as a compliment. So there you go. Let's see, though, if this works at all. If we get any errors, we'll do a console log error. And should I learn to debug with code? Yes, I should, but I haven't. Oh, yeah, we restarted our editor, so let's. Yes, so rude, Monica, but I did go to. They got better, the guys. They just needed some years, you know, to grow up. It was a 5-year engineering program, and a lot of them became better versions of themselves by the end of it. And we are building in my computer. So I've realized the streaming video stuff, it's going to be expensive because suddenly we need new, you know, I'll need a new computer. And as I said in my newspaper, actually a new house so I can have a studio. No, I'm just kidding. But my computer is struggling. So this is a classic mistake that I make all the time. I don't know if you can see it, but it says that it failed because you can't use await inside of a function that is not set to be async. And I forget that all the time. And that might have been why nothing was formatting there for a while. Let's see if we, no, it's still not formatting, but let's see if this works. We got an error. Database not open. Yay! Which we wanted to happen because the database isn't open because it's the wrong database. And I think it's called entries. So let's try. Seems like everything was working. Let's go back to our timeline. Yes, we have no information. Everything got deleted. Woohoo! Yes. So now we have it working. I guess we need to tidy it up a bit. And I'm hoping that the you know, code will start helping me out with the code formatting. But we also need to give some feedback to the user when anything wrong happens. And we need to give them some feedback when good things happen. And Ola had watched, I think, a tutorial with Wes Boss where they used alert. And suddenly I remember that you can just use alerts again. With Material UI, there's, you know, nice modals, and you can do all sorts of things for error handling. But for now with Userbase, we're just using the alert. instead of trying to make something fancy ourselves. And I like it especially on mobile. It looks really nice on a, you know, on a laptop or on a bigger screen. It looks kind of, yeah, it doesn't look as profesh, but yeah, so I kind of just like it using alert. And I also saw that the indiehacker.com website just uses alert as well to alert of errors. So it's nice. People Stitch's alerts are so retro. And I'm thinking also with web development, we're going super retro these days. Everything I see, all like the cool kids are going back to kind of like that 90s aesthetics. I don't know if I like it or if I don't. It is giving me nostalgia anyway. Way back when we were, you know, dialing up over our phone lines with our modems. So let's go back, and I usually just like to commit, you know, work in progress, just so I have it. So in case I mess up, I'll have something to go back to. So if we have an error, we'll do alert, error, message. They usually have pretty good error messages from Userbase, so I just, not the one where it was the wrong database. That's not so interesting. But other than that, I think that they're, oh, they don't show their texts here, but their copy has been really good for errors. So I just use the errors as is for now. And then we want to await it and then alert. All entries are deleted. So let's go back and add some entries. Let's check to see what word we're using for our cycle. Oh, we're doing testing. So if I write testing, that means I'm starting a new menstrual cycle, or I'm bleeding, actually. That's what it means. So first day of so now we're on day 1. And let's go back to profile. Alert to do. That's a good one. That is a good one. Conform. Yeah. So I said that in the beginning. The next thing I will put in is that they will have to write delete or something like that. So it actually is more of a, yes, they need to confirm it more. But let's just finish off with this with no safeguards. And then I'll probably put the safeguards in after this stream. Let's see. So let's do our delete data. All entries are deleted, and we go back to timeline. And yes, they are. And now I was going to turn off my Wi-Fi because that's what I do to test, you know, other types of errors. But let's not do that because there will be no more stream if I do that. So I'm going to force an error again by doing something like wrong here. So let's add another. And go back to profile. Database is not open. So if the Wi-Fi is down or something like that, it gives us, as I said, really good error messages. So let's just use that. Let's get our console logs away. And I think, I'm pretty sure I have this as a const somewhere. So let's just commit amend. So it's still work in progress. Oh, so I have it here. I will have to. So I don't like to leave those kind of things just sitting around my code. I cannot write. Still not formatting. I'm just checking if you're saying anything. So I want these streams to be an hour, I think, every Friday to keep me accountable for coding and moving POW forward. So, you know, see you back here in a week, and I'll try and close this up in 10 minutes. And as I think it says in my little overlay there, you know, please feel free to chime in and also give me feedback on Twitter. I'm at Ray on Twitter, RAAE. So, you know, just give me all kinds of feedback. I'm very open to that. I don't, you know, don't feel like you have to frame it very nicely. Just give me feedback. And I'll keep going here. Like this. Let's see if we can still make this work. Yes. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with this. At some point, I want all user-facing strings to be refactored into something a little bit more professional, but we're not doing that yet. So, thank you, Snooty. You are, you know, it's so nice to have you on my side. And other people watching this stream, you should check out Snooty and buy their very nice strawberry game. So what I want to add here, as we were saying, was that they confirm. So do you guys remember if alert, can you write into alert? Can't you do that? Can you do that? Does anybody remember? Alert box, alert, JavaScript, alert with input. Ooh. Yes, prompt. Okay, this is not privacy first, but we'll just accept everything. Yeah, so let's do that then. In the last 6 minutes of the stream, maybe I'll go over a little bit, but don't feel like you have to hang around. I am stoked, or do I say stoked? I don't really say stoked. I am calmer now, and it's been very nice to have you guys on board. And I know I shouldn't say guys, but I do, even though, you know, both me and Monica and other people watching the streams are not guys, but it's hard. It's a hard habit to turn. I should just say y'all, because I lived in Southern Indiana for a whole year as a high school student. And after, I think it was 7 months, I started saying y'all. So maybe I should just say, it's been nice having y'all on the stream. And let's do this prompt thing and see if we can make that work. Haha. I guess I have to do something with it. Let's see. Where do I get it back? Yeah, okay. Oh, please, can you start formatting? Formatting by hand. How retro. It's the same as my prompts and my alerts. I'm not the only one using Geyser, I understand. Let's see. Do you think this works? Let's see if it works. No, it doesn't work because we are missing a try. Maybe I left the try somewhere else. This is my I don't understand what is happening phase. Oh my God, something has. There's my try. There's my catch. I don't understand. Do anyone see what's wrong? And I'm really understanding how much I rely on Prettier these days. I don't. When did I stop being able to code without it? Good points from Snooty in the chat here about if I had an overlay with the chat, then it would be easier for him to see how far behind they are. I don't think I can do that with StreamYard, but I'll have a look. I'm just taking the easy way out here with my tools. And good luck with the visit. Okay, let's go back to our... So we're not compiling now. What's happening? Oh, I left the try up here. Hello. Yes. Cool. Server's not available. Is that because I had no data? Super! It works. The code is not formatted, but it works. So I'm going to be happy with that for today's very first live stream. And I did not fall over or faint or anything like that. It was, this was okay. And if, I'll set up another one for Friday next week to keep this going and to get use out of my new stream camera. So we're on exactly 1 hour, and we made it exactly in 1 hour. So let's see, I'm gonna do this now. And I see I've gotten a lot more sun on my face, which is really nice in a very gray Oslo. I hope you have a great Friday and an amazing weekend. And let's chat on the interwebs. Okay. Bye-bye.